Hello and welcome to Mother Base Radio. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Todd, and today I'm joined by Capello, by Benny, and special guest Mikey as we talk about our favorite experiences with video games, with horror video games in particular, now that we are in the month of Halloween. Yes, I don't use the name October, I use Halloween for the entire month. Now, the reason why this is a different intro compared to the other ones in the past is because, well, when we recorded this, it unfortunately got split into two parts because the laptop I was using finally decided to give out. Now, I was able to recover both parts, but the second part of this podcast had some issues, and there was no way I can kind of add it into the current recording that you're about to hear. So basically, the conversation is cut off abruptly, but ended more or less on an okay note. So I apologize for the abrupt end to this episode, but hopefully you like it. We talk about Dead Space and The Last of Us and influences in gaming horror, and our first experiences with horror games from our past. So thanks a lot for sticking around and enjoy the show. Anyways,
shit's spooky.
This is episode 34. Totally not recorded the same day we recorded the last one. Not recorded at all, right?
I mean, you already let it out of the bag.
I know, but I'm just go with it, man.
No, I'm
just fucking go with it.
Day of Spooks 1?
Yeah, we recorded. We were. This is the second podcast we record today.
Okay.
We're stockpiling.
Podcasts. Yeah. So right now we just
Alright.
kind of shoot the shit, and we're talking because it is Halloween the 1st. We're just talking about horror games.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought it was spooky stories that you were going with.
Nope.
I mean that
Just horror games in general.
Spooky.
horror games they have spooky stories in them, Mike.
Okay.
Spooky games are stories that are told through
Video game form.
interactive variants.
Okay. I
What's-
think I don't know why in that particular time and moment in Conqueror's Bad Fur Day where you go
Okay.
to the vampire scene.
Uh-huh.
Or
Yes.
do you know what I'm talking
Conker's
about?
Bad Fur Day.
Yeah.
The most spookiest of games.
I know, right?
No, but
The
there
most mature games.
no, but there are definitely moments in games that are not scary that
but
that are
they-
creepy.
You're talking about the
Yeah.
one where you turn into a bat and you take a dump.
Yeah,
and
but
you're-
just beforehand,
you're
you know how
bombing
you have to
people.
walk through the graveyard to the house, and you're barely meeting the zombies for the first time. You don't have the shotgun. All you have is your stupid frying pan, and you're getting to the moment where you're about to get to your shotgun. And Mondo and I, it's fucking the night before Halloween. This was the night of Halloween that we were playing this.
Mhm.
My lights were off in my room. We were all dressed up, getting ready to go to a Halloween party at my uncle's house at my tío Mondo's. We're playing, then I don't know, we start hearing the moans from the stupid squirrels. And we're like, holy shit, what the fuck was that? And we legit thought, because I had my TV full blast, that it was coming from behind our door in my closet. And I was like, well, shit, Mondo. So I look, I don't pause the game, I just leave it on. And I turn. Little did I know, my little sister Aleda was in the fucking closet just sort of like hanging out because that was like her hangout spot where she would like write in her diary and stuff. And also play the Game Boy. I don't know, we were weird when we were in that.
That's fine. I used to weep in my closet all the time.
Okay. Okay. Well,
Your closet is also
Like,
quite large.
it-
It's basically a room. Yeah.
yeah. And
It's prime weeping.
Mondo
Real
opens the
estate.
door, and as soon as Mondo opens the door, all we hear is the from like Conker getting attacked and going screaming going on. Mondo starts losing his shit. Aleda starts losing his shit. I start losing my shit. We flip the fuck out. My mom runs in the room.
What's going on?
Spooky moment. Very spooky.
I did have a moment like that, but like Oblivion, we talked about this before. The Oblivion gates are
Oh, they are.
they're kind of creepy.
Yeah.
I played that when I was 15, so it was still kind of creepy to me. Or
I was playing Conker's Bad Fur Day when I shouldn't have been playing. I think I was like maybe.
I
12, 10.
played the original Resident Evil when I was a kid. It wasn't super. No, but that first moment was it when the dogs come in through the windows in the beginning
when
of
they
the,
break
of the
through?
mansion.
Yeah.
Ah, shit! Scared the fuck out of me the first time. Well, actually, no. The first time I played it technically was on the GameCube. I didn't play it on the PlayStation.
I think in that one, the first time you pass, you get to, like, the dogs actually do hit it, and they crack the window and you just see a couple little cracks happen.
Oh, so you can avoid them coming all the way
No,
in?
no, 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 no.
I don't
the
remember.
very first time you walk through there, because you walk through there a couple of times.
Yeah, you backtrack.
And it doesn't happen, the dogs don't break through until a certain point in time.
Mm-hmm.
Since you're playing on the GameCube, that was the remade version.
So
there's an Easter egg where the dogs will hit the window, but they don't break it.
They just like
and
slam
it's
it.
kind of like a hint, like nope,
Yeah.
not yet.
No.
And then you keep going, you do stuff, you advance in the story, you walk
Tricksters.
by there again, and then they bust through the thing.
Yeah. What's the first horror
Gotta
game
keep a sharp eye out.
Yeah, it's true. What's the first horror game you remember playing?
First
Me?
horror game?
Yeah.
Mine was Silent Hill.
That's a fucked up one to start with.
Yeah.
How old were you when you played it? Do you remember?
Jeez. 10?
That's a fucked up age to play that too.
Yeah.
I think I remember seeing my older brother play Resident Evil and Silent Hill,
Mhm.
and I remember he would play them like back and forth,
Like on and off.
and so I thought there was a section in that was Silent Hill, but I thought it was Resident Evil, and there's a section where you walk into a room and in blood it's scrawled like there was a hole here, but now it's gone or something like that,
Mhm.
and it's where you're walking through a whole city that's covered in fog. And I thought that was Resident Evil for a while. And I remember at one, when I was older, I was looking for a game where you're walking in a fog-filled city of Resident Evil, and I never found it.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What the fuck? I know this happened."
Yeah, your
It
games
turns
messed
out it
up.
was Silent Hill. Yeah.
Did you know that Silent Hill is based on a real town?
Yes.
Yeah.
In
There's a actual
Pennsylvania.
town. There's an actual town
There's
named
a coal
Silent Hill.
Yeah.
coal mining town in Pennsylvania. I think it's Pennsylvania.
It's covered in cracks, and the cracks keep steam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
There's that's where Hell's Mouth is, where there was a coal mine that got lit
Underground.
on fire, and
It's still lit.
it's still lit,
Yeah.
and it will be lit for the next 50 years or so.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It's almost like the American Chernobyl, almost.
I think
in a way.
also it's encouraged to not live there because
I mean, I wouldn't live there either.
burning coal is carbon monoxide.
Yes, it is.
was.
Congratulations,
I
you
was
science.
Murders you.
Yeah. It
So
murders
this-
you. Carbon.
murders
That's
you.
good for a shirt. Carbon monoxide murders you. Paid for by Johnson & Johnson, a family company.
Unless you fart it out.
Unless you farted out.
Yes.
Yes.
Even at that condensed moments of that will still murder you.
No.
That's more of the shit smell and not the carbon monoxide.
Mike, do you,
Maybe methane.
do you remember the first horror game you ever played? I know you're not into it.
Dead Space, the demo, not even the game.
Really?
The demo.
Did Dead Space had a demo?
Shit,
on
Mike.
PS3.
I don't remember
That's
this.
how long I avoided
Playing
scary
horror games at all.
Yes,
Mike,
sir.
I'm gonna drag
Actually,
you by the fucking feet
not-
and make
not-
you play
not-
something.
Now that I think about it, this is the first time I ever asked you if you've liked horror in general. I've never asked him before.
I remember because you were really jumpy when we were playing Resident Evil 7. The first time we were playing the beginning
Yeah,
hour,
well, you-
this guy was jumpy as
I mean,
fuck.
it's
Do
atmospheric
you
as
remember
fuck.
when we first got PT and then
Yeah.
Danny was playing PT and then it was Israel, myself, Benny, Mikey, Danny, right? We were watching Danny
All of
play
you in one
PT.
room.
Yeah.
watching
And
this.
then I keep telling them because then the thing was it's don't worry, she's going to rush at you, but
Yeah.
she's not going to do anything. And so Danny's like, oh, okay, so he goes forward to the room and she does the creepy rush. Everybody oh shit, man, this losing.
So
it.
Danny
It's
was
like-
this close to hitting me in the face because he
With the
reeled back
remote.
holding the
Yeah.
control.
Oh,
He
no.
does this and he comes like, shit.
Real close.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Was it one of Danny's
Fun.
friends that you scared super bad that he almost jumped out your window?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
But-
I yelled
but-
at the top of my lung like,
Well, I've seen you do that before, and that scared me.
I forgot what it was that he was playing, but he dropped the controller. I think he was sitting down playing something on the keyboard.
Oh
He
shit!
just dropped it and he was running towards the window like he was ready to jump.
Damn.
That shit happened hard.
Legit almost broke out of Ben's window. Poor kid.
It was Slender.
Yeah,
Slender
it was
when you have to
Slender,
collect
that's
7
right.
pages.
Yeah, it was on PC too, yeah.
Yeah.
It was the moment when it was still on PC.
I don't remember the first game, the first horror.
See, I played through Slender and I didn't have a problem with Slender. Slender was easy for me.
Because I think Slender. I think it's depends on your tolerance of horror, but it's not. It's more atmospheric than anything.
Yeah.
I think.
Mhm.
That's very much like jump scare.
Yeah, like Friday Nights at Freddy's kind of
Yeah.
style.
But Dead Space got me. I think what gets me is seeing blood-written walls and
Sure.
seeing bodies dragged slowly across around corners.
I think.
Like, I also played Doom after. Like, I think after I played the Dead Space demo, my cousin had come over, my cousin Carlos, and he had,
Doom 3.
Yeah, Doom 3.
Yeah,
just
it's either a flashlight or a handgun.
Yeah, that one. And we were playing through it, and I was like, I can't do this. He had just brought his 360, we set it up in my house. I was like, nope, this isn't happening, dog. I'm like, you need to turn that shit off or switch out to something else. He's like, nah, man, go be a little girl, you can do this. Like, come on, just play. Like,
Doom, when they re-released Doom 3...
The remastered?
Yeah, well, it's called the BFG edition.
Yeah.
They had, like...
Attachments.
The...
handgun.
Well, like,
No,
the flashlight, yes, it was default. So you didn't have to pick between them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, but that...
And that game was... I mean, I played it when I was maybe 14, and that game was definitely creepy. It was eerie. But playing it again, I was like, this is nothing to me. Because it's not actually that creepy, and
then...
it can be.
I think during the time that I was dating Rocio, she wanted to get into Fear, because she wanted to get into spooky games.
Sure.
So I bought her Fear 1 and Fear
I think
2.
Fear is a good entry, because I don't think it's actually that scary.
Fear 1, once you start getting closer to the end, is when this weird shit starts happening.
Yeah, because it starts off as a shooter.
Yeah, and then it starts going into like a weird trip of a game.
Yeah,
and
that's when starts coming out.
That stuff started getting really fun. But that's, I think, like, it wasn't spooky for me, but it was a good experience.
Yeah.
To get into, horror, I guess.
One of the first months...
Psychological horror.
One of the first months that I had, when I first met Sam, is when Fear 3 came out. Mm-hmm. And that one's the one that had co-op on it. And at the time, we were like, hey, let's check out co-op games to play together. Because I think at the time, I had bought him...
Was Fear 3 co-op good?
No, it was fucking terrible.
Okay.
But at the time when I met him, I bought him a copy of Gears of War 1, so I told him to try it out, and we played that, but we were looking for other stuff. And actually, the first game we played was Resident Evil 5, and it scared him. And I was like, it's like Resident Evil 5 is the most non-scary game in the series, next to probably 6.
Yeah.
It's an action game. And then we played Fear 3, and Fear 3 at the beginning plays like a shooter, but he was fucking freaked out because he had on the back of his head that it was going to turn into a horror game like this. Which, there's some creepy stuff with Alma.
Yeah.
And, yeah, that game's actually kind of incestuous, too.
A bit, yeah.
There's some weird shit going on in there. But I don't think the game was particularly good. I think the quality of those games dropped off after 2. They also released a free-to-play Fear, multiplayer game on Steam, which is garbage. I think I saw Jim Sterling play it a while back, and it was pretty bad.
What do you even do?
It's a shooter.
Damn.
It's a free-to-play multiplayer game. That's it. With Fear elements, yes.
Condemned was another one.
There you go. We talked about that earlier. Condemned came out...
Condemned the one specifically.
Yeah.
I did like the second one, too.
The second one was okay. The first one was by far my favorite.
It was a really cool experience.
Odd audio of, like,
real cumbersome controls, like... You didn't have... there was, 2 or 3 guns in the game. You never had ammunition for them.
No, it's always melee.
Yeah. No, but you still had guns.
but it was very
it's melee-based for sure. And that game was one of the games that definitely scared me the most at first. Because I bought it thinking that it was going to be a cakewalk, and it wasn't. Because it came out a couple months after the 360 launch. It was a launch game. And I don't think the first one came out on PS3, because I think it was exclusive. But the second one came out on both systems. Now, the second one was called Bloodshot.
Yeah.
And that one was okay. But I think what was weird, I was telling Ben and Capello earlier, is that it has a multiplayer mode. Mm. It's like a chivalry kind of melee-based thing, which my cousin really liked. He played that for months, but it was really odd. I don't think it made sense with the game. But I would like to see a sequel in VR.
Oh, fuck.
Damn.
Interesting.
Yeah. Mike's like, fuck no. Are you kidding?
I don't even want to play fucking Resident Evil in VR. Yeah. God, no. I can barely play the game by itself via controller on a TV.
Gonna be real good.
I mean,
it's going to be spooky as fuck,
because technically you can't escape, but I thought about it. You can close your eyes.
You can, but...
You still have the audio.
You'll have the audio. That's what scares me the most. I think it's the audio, because even I remember my mom telling me when I went to go see Jurassic Park, the very first Jurassic Park, which is not a scary movie.
No, but for a child it can be.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I was 6 years old when I first saw that movie.
Yeah, it came out in 94.
Yeah. Oh no, then I was younger.
Well, maybe you saw it at a different age.
Yeah, I probably did. When I first saw that movie, my parents would tell me, or they would remind me, like they would ask me, why do you close your ears? That's what I would do. I would just cover my ears so I wouldn't have to hear...
So it was the sound of the creatures?
At the time...
It's anticipating the jump scare.
Yes.
Sure.
Because in every jump scare, there's always that.
Silent, and then...
Bam.
And then bam.
Yeah, the audio cue.
Like, for instance, when the T-Rex first roars, it's quiet, it's just gargling at you, and then it turns, quiet for half a second.
Yeah, it's like
and
analyzing
roar.
what's going on in
Yes.
front of it. Actually, I think the scariest thing are the raptors because they're smarter and
The
they're cunning
clever girl.
and they work together. Which
The
is
raptors didn't scare me as much as the T-Rex, though. I don't know why. I
It's
think
the
it
size.
was the it
Yeah.
was the size and the sound
That's
of
true.
it. Just,
But
I can't wait till the shitstorm starts.
mm.
It's gonna be real good.
Dead Space was definitely that game where I would look. It was the first game where I would look down a hallway and I would say, "Fuck,
Nope."
no."
Yeah.
Especially like in the first game on the Ishimura in the bathrooms. Never wanted to go to the bathrooms, but I knew that I needed to go in there. But yeah, like there, where you can see like the reflection from the in front of the sink, the mirrors and stuff.
Yeah.
And you can see a blood trail and all this
I
stuff.
think it was in part 2 when you first start. I'm not sure it was part 1 or part 2.
Mhm.
There's like half a body hanging from a vent, and then like you walk into the room
No, just-
and you see it. No,
Yeah.
you see it there, and you walk closer, and then something drags it in,
Yeah.
and then like a hand falls out. I was like,
Yeah, it's good.
And then like you get closer, and you hear the audio of something crawling through the vent.
yeah.
And
And
I was
you can
like,
never tell where it's
"Ooh."
coming from. It's all over the
Ooh,
place.
Yeah.
Because technically the vents are all over the place
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
The second game, which I know some people don't like as much as the first game, I understand that. I think it's actually creepier than the first game. But the second game, what was the worst part was when you go to the daycare.
Oh, with the
Oh,
baby.
Oh yeah.
Yes. It
Hell
was
yeah.
legit creepy.
That
I
was
couldn't wait to get the
fucking
fuck out
awesome.
of there. Yeah.
Because like necromorph children are like the
Necromorphs remind me a lot of The Thing.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
very much inspired.
Yeah,
by the thing.
More so than I think a lot of people would just automatically assume alien. Like Xenomorph is like, no, it's
No,
not that
no,
kind of
It's
creature.
not, no. I think the worst thing about xenomorphs are like because their actual design and in their the way that they function is terrifying.
Absolutely.
But like the implications to them are even worse.
Worse. Yeah.
Like because I really look into that. Like when you see human bodies that are fused onto the wall, and then they're just like they're yelling and
Yeah.
screaming, and
That's
they have
creepy.
like tentacles coming out of their stomach. It's like there's an implication that they're still alive
yeah,
there.
absolutely.
Like imagine like if you were conscious and like being fused to a fucking wall.
Just like you literally
what
took
fucking
your body of
existence
flesh.
is
There's
that?
the specific scene, and I think it was the
Resurrection.
The Thing. No, specifically in The Thing.
Sorry.
When literally the monster is fusing onto
Oh,
one of the
other-
people.
Yeah.
When they tie up the people that they suspect that could be it,
Then that room,
and
that's
they're
a
testing
tense.
the blood.
That's a tense scene.
And there's like it's you, then the Thing, and then me,
Yeah.
and then like we're both tied up, and like I think like someone tests the blood, and like it pops, and then
Yeah.
they just stare like, oh, and then like
Yeah.
it starts taking like
Yeah.
it starts fusing with the person. The person is screaming his head
Yeah.
off, and I think the solution was, oh,
Burn it.
bust out the flamethrower.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we can't
Yeah.
save. It's too late for you. We'll
We're
kill you
burning
with
you, yeah.
fire.
We were gonna save
Burning
movies for
with
next
fire.
week, but it's whatever. One of the scariest parts watching that movie as a kid
Oh boy.
was
well,
when
there's,
that guy.
there's a whole lot of movies.
Yeah,
to bring
there's
up on that.
when that one guy goes into shock or something, or he's having whatever's going on with him, and they pull out the defib,
Oh,
and it
Oh yeah, and the chest.
and like the
fucking-
chest just like caves in.
And it just
Oh
fucking
yeah,
cuts his arms off.
it's disgusting.
Bubblegum.
That
Chewed
movie's so
bubblegum
good.
is what his arms turned into at that point.
Yeah, it looked like it. Yeah,
It looked amazing though.
yeah, that movie's something. But
It's like the go on, like clearly the Thing is like a very big inspiration to the
For,
to
like-
the xenomorph or the
the
necromorph.
Necromorph,
in,
absolutely.
Yeah, in Dead Space.
Yeah.
And like that, it's just the sort of the same thing. Like the thing that scared me the most about in the Thing are the implications of it taking over
For
your body.
And you
Like-
you technically not knowing, right? To an
I-
extent,
That's the thing. Like you don't know.
it doesn't
Because,
explain.
Yeah.
Like in the
It just does.
Yeah, they don't explain it in the Thing, but in Dead Space for the necromorphs,
They
there's
do.
an implication that you are tied to their to a
Yeah.
consciousness that you become part of a hive mind,
Yeah.
and
Which I mean, the obelisk,
Yeah.
the marker.
and so like there's a very real implication that some of those xenomorphs are still like you. Like
Yeah.
not in control of your body.
Yeah, you just have no control over yourself.
Oh, want to know what's another good one? The crab head.
Oh, those are like,
So,
same,
apparently-
same
from-
thing.
When
From,
you play
Half-Life?
their
From
when you play their audio
Yeah.
reversed, it's people talking.
Like
Yeah,
it's like help me, I'm not.
I've seen audio from Ravenholm, which is the city in part 2 where it's covered in it's like zombified basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've heard that stuff.
Same thing. Like that's those implications are what frightens me the most because it's like
because that's very sinister.
What a terrible fate.
It's way more sinister than the idea of them just eating you.
Yeah, it's like what if you don't die?
Yeah, that's creepy.
Like what if you're just not in control of your body and you're just constantly suffering?
Yeah.
Like what? That implication is literally what just like gives me the heebie-jeebies like every time I play, and which is why if I was ever in space and like at the first sign of a necromorph, I would throw myself out of the airlock.
You would die a relatively painless death, so you'd be fine.
I quit.
As soon as
Capello just like.
I just imagine Papyrus, but like with Farm like, I don't want to live here anymore.
Yeah, literally. Like, if there's like a big ass obelisk with a cult, like I'm not taking a risk. I'm just going out of the airlock.
Yeah, I agree with you. Another creature.
I don't lose to hive minds. I lose to myself.
Is
no, I win in that situation.
the clickers. So if you pay attention and you don't have to go online and look for this stuff. But if you get really close to a clicker, if you pay attention, the sounds that they're making, like some of them are like when they're kind of like mid-turning, they're saying help.
The ones from Last of Us?
Yeah. Aside from they make a clicking sound, right? But they also, when they're like moaning and stuff, pay attention and they're actually saying help me. Yeah.
I know I hear some of the regular ones, not the clickers themselves.
Yeah, the ones that are like barely gonna, like they're transitioning to turn into them.
Yeah.
Those are basically zombies. Yeah. More so than the
Runner
clickers.
Zombies, yeah.
Yeah, because the clickers are not zombies.
No.
But it's very eerie. And if you watch, there's a documentary called Grounded, which is the Last of Us documentary. You can find it on the PlayStation channel on YouTube. They go into the sound design, and it's fucking creepy.
Oh man, that's spooky stuff.
It's spooky stuff. But going back a little bit, I remember the first time I played Dead Space. The night it came out, I went to pick it up. And it was also the first week that I had my first pair of Turtle Beach headsets, like when they first came out. And so I was alone at home too. My parents weren't here. It was creepy. There were moments where I had to take them off for a second. It was like, oh my god, it's too much. And especially now that headphones have gotten better and the horror games have horror games have changed. I'm not gonna say they've gotten better because I think Dead Space, from a AAA perspective, is the best. Yeah. The best one I've ever played yet, but. It was creepy still. Super creepy.
And sound design plays a large part.
It's important.
Games,
Probably, I think it's more important.
One of the most important. The most important.
Yeah, more so than game design because you can just make a walking simulator. That's Amnesia. Boom. Yeah. Sound design is important to that game, not necessarily the mechanic.
Did you know that there's a gay pirate in Amnesia?
No, didn't know that.
What?
Yeah, in Amnesia, if you get to a certain point and you're insane, you'll see the ghost of a dead pirate, and it goes, "Give me your booty."
That's funny.
That's a good one.
Freaking a game that didn't scare me, but the sheer thought of it creeped me out was Dead Rising, and it's not the zombies, it's the cultists.
It's the people.
No, not the psychos. The cultists.
Yeah.
The people in raincoats with green masks that
they
find you, they strip you naked and they put you in a room. And like when you first run into them, they're preparing. They put a girl in a box and they start shanking the box. And like that is fucking terrifying to me. Yeah. That like
cults? I think
cults in general are creepy.
But like shit hits the fan. And the problem isn't it's just like the problem. It's the people that survive that go, oh shit, we need to do something to keep the bad thing away. Yeah. I know, let's just start throwing human lives away.
Yeah.
Which is that'll keep the bad thing away.
That's with anything that's like post-apocalyptic, or like Walking Dead, or like with Fallout. It's like it's not. Well, there's some creepy shit in Fallout, but it's not that you should worry about the most. It should be the humans that are left behind. And like in The Walking Dead. The zombies are an afterthought. It's about the fucking crazy people that are left.
It's the same thing with Dead Rising. Like, Dead Rising, sure, early game, they might